Hello, welcome back to VerySpatialTV, Season 5, and this time we're continuing on with QGIS. My personal reintroduction to QGIS after having not used it heavily for a while, using QGIS 3.10.2, which is the current version as of February 2020. This time around we're looking at rasters, and specifically we're looking at elevation rasters. Might do another video in the future on imagery, but wanted to focus on single band rasters real quick. So whenever we are doing this, I'm still using data from my dissertation. Belmont and Fleming are to the east and west respectively of the Marietta Quad, and of course it's Marietta that I focused on, the mounds in Marietta over here in my dissertation conversation. As you can see, we have a little bit of a visual break because of the various ranges. So what I'm going to do is actually kind of pop out the elevations here by copying a style from Marietta and applying it to Belmont, which is nice. It's a quick copy and paste of styles. You can do similar things in other applications, but it really is nice just to be able to copy and paste as simple as a right click of your styles in your rasters. Now, of course, this isn't really meaningful because it's just the variation of colors, and again, we've kind of maxed out the colors over here. So instead, what we want to do is go through and in the rasters and then under miscellaneous, go to merge. And this way we can take all three of our rasters and create one raster at the end. So basically mosaicing these so that we can have one file instead of three. So we can have the same color range. We're just going to take that same style and paste it in. Again, still oversaturating over here in the east, but it gives us a nicer image than the washed out version that came in because of the border edge effects. Now, there's a lot of different things we can do here, but I'm just going to use slope and aspect as examples. Whenever we go to raster, we can still use any of the analysis tools, but we're going to use the Google slope. We're just going to run that very quickly and see what we get, a very traditional slope result. I'm going to go in, change this to a single band pseudo color, maybe a different color ramp. And we can see that our red colors here are flat, and as we get into the whites, which are really more orange or pink, those are our slope areas. Now that's using the default tool within the raster menu, but if you open QGIS with GRASS, if you installed it appropriately, and do that open as opposed to just a QGIS desktop, run QGIS desktop with GRASS, then of course you have access to other capabilities and tools as well. So coming over to processing and turning on the toolbox, you'll get this over here in the right hand section. So I'm going to type in slope, and again we can see the most recently used that I've done here. We can see the slope that's built into the raster terrain analysis of QGIS itself, the Google slope that we used, the GRASS slope and aspect, and even the Saga slope aspect curvature under terrain analysis morphometry for Saga. Real quick, we'll look to see what we get with the R tool running through GRASS, and we'll turn off these extras. You do get a lot of depth in terms of responses, so we're getting different profile curvatures in addition to our traditional slope and aspect, but I'm turning those off and just taking the defaults beyond that. I want to put that, run that on the merged data set, so run that, and we're going to close that up. Just for consistency, I'm going to copy the style from our previous slope and show that it's more or less exactly the same. So turning off the new slope, turning back on the old slope or new slope, you can see nothing changed. So we're getting the same result because it's basically the same tool, same algorithm being run between those. In terms of aspect, we'll switch the visual on that. Another pseudo color, going back to our traditional spectral. And we can see the variations between east being orange, south being yellow, west or 270 degrees being green, and north again being blue, with flat areas being red. So that's our aspect and our slope. Again, we can run lots of different analyses that we can do similar things. And again, it's just a aspect of preference for which tool set you want to use, the depth of tools that you might want to use. But again, whenever we're looking at the processing toolbox, there's tons and tons of other options between what's available directly in QGIS, what we can get to in GRASS, what we can access in Saga in terms of terrain analysis and raster capabilities. And all of these are, depending on the version and how you've installed, available to you whenever you are running QGIS. So again, very deep in terms of access to different capabilities and analyses, similar to what we were talking about last time at the end with vector. So again, just touching the surface, just looking at DEMs, didn't do any kind of raster calculations or anything, just merged, ran slope and aspect from different tool sets. If you have any questions, let me know. Remember, I'll be finishing up in the next couple of videos for QGIS in the next month or so. And then in late March, early April, most likely, I'll be beginning to look at an open source online GIS or web GIS to get my hands back into that as well. So I'm going to continue working with open source, going to continue focusing on QGIS for a little bit longer and then web. If you do have anything you want me to look at specifically and talk about, feel free to leave a note below in the comments. And of course, if you would like to find out more about VerySpatial in general, head over to VerySpatial.com. If you'd like to contact us, head over to VerySpatial.com/contacts. And I look forward to talking to you in the next episode.